Replicon Radio. Replicon Radio. Talking shit with the juggalos on Replicon Radio. Give it a listen. Don't be a bitch. Replicon Radio. Yeah. This is Replicon Radio.
Hello.
What up, y'all?
It's early.
It is.
It's a little early, but we're here, man. We're doing it. Welcome back.
We're actually early and on time.
It's crazy, right?
Does that ever happen around here?
No. Maybe by accident one time. But
This is that one time.
this is that one time.
Absolutely. But we are here, man. We appreciate everybody tuning in early, sharing out the streams. We're live, repliconradio.com,
Welcome.
as well as on YouTube. And we have a very, very, very special guest this week.
Yeah, y'all never thought we'd open up a show with a guest, would you?
Right?
Nope.
Continuing with the season of the pumpkin, keeping it festive, man. We have a horror icon, a horror legend, if you will. One of the men behind the face, the Leatherface.
Many faces.
Give it up, man, for our special guest, R.A. MIHAILOFF.
Yeah.
How are you, man?
Freaking P, Big Rude, Dead Body Man, how you guys doing?
Hello,
Doing
sir.
good. Doing good.
Hello.
Doing good, man.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show this evening.
Well, thanks for having me on, fellas.
I'm actually a huge fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series.
As am I.
Absolutely, man.
As am I.
As we all should be.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like that. I'm like that guy from Saturday Night Live, the one that baseball been very, very good to me. Chainsaw been very, very good to me.
Yes. That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we definitely appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us. I'm sure you're super busy, especially this time of year.
Yes.
You know, it's that season, man. So we appreciate you celebrating part of October.
You know, under normal circumstances, yeah, this phone conversation probably would have been impossible. But it's no secret, thanks to the China virus 19, everything's gone down the shitter.
Yes, absolutely it has.
That's very true. Hopefully, normalcy. It seems like some normalcy. I know they're doing like a Mad Monster Weekend or whatever convention in Texas.
Yeah, they just did Mad Monster Party in Phoenix last weekend.
Yeah. So
I haven't heard from anybody how it went. I hope it went okay.
I saw a couple of Bill Mosley's photos from down there. It seemed like and Kane. I know Kane did the Jason X. I've seen some things from down there. Looked like people were enjoying themselves. So hopefully it starts a trend and everybody was safe and we start seeing some more of that.
Yeah, well, it'll be nice when things bust wide open. That's for sure.
Absolutely, man. People. Yeah. I miss people. I miss people so much.
By the middle of November, everything will be open back up and everything will be normal.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I hope that's true.
We're going to have a vaccine. It's coming real soon.
Yeah, and I'll be first in line to take it. Not.
Yeah, right. I'll just let everybody else take it, and I'll just keep doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
They'll have to put me in leg irons and handcuffs and strap me down to a table before I'll take a vaccine.
Yeah, I don't even get the flu shot. I ain't trying to get sick.
Yeah.
Well, I do. Let me backtrack my statement. I get a flu shot every year.
Do you?
But I'll be damned if I'm going to get a vaccine that's had no field trials or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And, and who knows if it's going to be delivering microchips to you.
Right.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
But that's old technology. I don't think we have to worry about that anymore. They just hand them to us in the phone and go, here you go, and tell us all your stuff.
But yes, that's what a lot of people say. But where that analogy or that argument falls flat on its face, you don't have to take your cell phone out in the woods, man. Okay.
That is true.
That is true.
You can leave it sitting on your desk, but if you got a microchip in your body, it's going with you everywhere you're going.
You can't get away from that.
Yep.
But you can take that damn phone and throw it in a bucket of water. And
I've almost done that a few times.
Right.
Almost.
I usually just punch the screens of mine or throw them down on the ground.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hopefully we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I get tempted to do that, then I think about how much it's going to, at the last minute, I think how much it's going to cost me to replace it.
Right. Like, shit, that thing cost me $1,000. I know I'm going to want a new one when I'm not mad.
Yeah. When I'm I go back to being not mad.
Right? When I need to log into Facebook again. This is bullshit.
You kids and your Facebooks.
But hell yeah, man. But, so anyway, what we like to do, RA, we want to get to know people. Obviously, everybody knows I don't want to, diminish the fact that you're basically a horror icon and Leatherface. But we want to get to know you. We want to know how we got to that point. So, like, you're from Pennsylvania, and when you were a child, you originally wanted to be like an artist, like a painter. Is that true?
Yeah. Well, it's like a twofold thing. Now, when I was a little kid, man, when I was probably 10, 11, 12, whatever, I used to read Famous Monsters of Filmland, and I would, I wonder. I said, "That's so cool, man. How do you get to be the Frankenstein monster? How do you get to do the Wolf Man? And then when I was in high school, I was pretty handy with art, and for a while there, I thought maybe I'd go to art school and draw and sculpt and paint and all that shit. But then, simultaneously, as I was having those feelings, I was eligible to join the drama club, and I hit a home run right out of the right off the bench. I got the starring role in the play, and never looked back from there.
You just got the acting bug right away, huh?
Yeah, well, it was, like I said, back from reading Famous Monsters of Filmland, it was there. It was always there. It was always festering under the surface.
I hear you. A lot of people like that age, they don't think that's a real thing. Like, you can't do that. Those are monsters. I can't be. Like an actor's not a job. Those people just do that.
Yeah.
Like. Well. I knew it was acting, I knew somebody had to, I never missed an issue of Famous Monsters of Filmland. So, I knew Boris Karloff wasn't Frankenstein monster, and I knew Lon Chaney wasn't the Wolfman. Obviously they're regular guys that get in makeup and make movies. So that's what I wanted to do.
That's awesome. So then how did you go from drama class to landing that first role?
Well, I graduated from high school, and I went to a summer theater school at with the Cleveland Playhouse at the Chautauqua Institution in New York. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Stop. Go back. I'm jumping ahead of myself.
Uh-oh.
I graduated from high school and didn't go to college, and went out and got a job. I think my first job out of high school was cross-country oil exploration. And then, I did other stuff, man. I used to work in an iron foundry. I was a member of the United Steelworkers. I worked on the railroad. I was a member of the United Brotherhood Maintenance Away. I was a John Henry, man. I was a spike driving fool on the railroad.
Wow.
Always at the back of my mind, I thought, well, if I want to, go out there someday and try to be an actor, maybe I ought to have some life experience to draw on. So that's why I did all that stuff.
You had like every manly job known to man.
Well,
I'm gonna work with oil and trains.
I was never a miner,
Nope. Yeah.
and I never officially worked on a tugboat. Even though I went out on a tugboat run with a friend of mine one time, that was pretty cool. But I never officially worked on a tugboat.
That's awesome. So I guess your first. Well, I don't know which came first. What came first? Yeah. Brute Bronson, the Iron City Savage, or the Lathe of Heaven? Were you wrestling before you got into?
No. Oh, let me go back. Okay. So here I am in the middle of the working on the. Okay, this was the genesis that started my linear progression in show business. Okay. Mm-hmm. I was laid off from the railroad. I was baling hay for a local farmer. She happened to be the artistic director of our local community theater. I don't know how y'all do it where you're from, but up here, we always stop and have a big, massive lunch, and then you lay down for a little bit under the shade tree and drink milk right from the cooler and stuff like that. Anyway, the woman, her name was Bonnie. She goes, "R.A., you're going to be in my next play." And I said, "Well, okay, Bonnie, if that's okay, that's fine. I'd like to do that." From there, I met a college professor who was the chairman of the drama department. He invited me to come to the college, do a play. That's how I found out about the Cleveland Playhouse Summer School. I went to that. One of the instructors at the summer school turned me on to the League of Outdoor Drama. If you've never been to an outdoor drama, I suggest you go. They're like live movies.
That's awesome.
And so I went and auditioned, and I got offered a couple of parts. I offered a couple different parts at different theaters around the country. I chose Texas, for two reasons. They were opening up a brand new theater, and I'd never been to Texas, so that got me down to Texas. That led to me eventually moving to Dallas and getting my first agent, doing the Lathe of Heaven while I was in Dallas, and then I just kept, the building block, stepping up on the building blocks of a career.
Just doing plays and stuff, and then you started getting other parts, other places.
Doing plays. Now here I'm gonna drop a horror H-bomb on you.
Okay.
So after I spent a couple of years in Texas doing an outdoor theater, and I'm telling you, man, I'm not kidding. These things, we had cavalry charges, cannons, all kinds of stuff. It was cool, man. But I read in a trade paper that an outdoor theater in Chillicothe, Ohio, brought in a Hollywood stuntman to coordinate the stage fights for this play. I said, well, there it is, because I'd always wanted to be a stuntman. And so I went up there unannounced, went in, got hired, and it turns out that the stuntman was Jim Winburn. Does that name ring a bell with anybody?
I probably, not off the top of my head, but I probably do know who it is.
Well, you might remember him as the stuntman who went off the balcony in Halloween.
I gotcha.
That's so you met him. He came down there.
He was down there, yeah. And I didn't even know he had any connection to Halloween. I just knew he was a Hollywood stuntman, and that was going to be my in, man. So, I'm pretty handy, so he and I got along real well. And I wasn't making enough money in the theater, so I went out and got a day job on the railroad. So I would come straight from the railroad in my bib overalls and all greasy and dirty, from creosote, and grab my tomahawk and my war club and jump right into the fight scenes and stuff, rehearsal for fight scenes and stuff, and so It was pretty cool. Anyway, so we remained friends. When I moved, when I finally made the move to California, I visited him at his office. We kept in contact, and then one day I get a call from Jim Winburn. Hey, all right, a friend of mine's producing a movie, wants to see you for a part in it. You got to drive on past in Paramount Studios, whatever day it was. That movie happened to be Friday the 13th, number 6.
Oh, wow.
And they were looking at me for the part of Jason. That they had hired a guy. I'm not talking out of school. You can look it up. His name is Dan Bradley. They weren't happy with what he was doing with the character, so they wanted to replace him. Now, I think that's okay for Dan Bradley because he went on to become one of the biggest stunt coordinators in the business. Right off the top of my head, stunt coordinator for Independence Day, many other big movies. So, it didn't hurt his career at all.
He wasn't too sad about it. I said, yeah, he wasn't too sad about it.
Yeah, no. So it came down to me and one other guy. And like I said, I've always had an affinity for stuntmen, so I hit it off with the stunt coordinator from Mike Nomad, the stunt coordinator from Friday 13th, number 6. Hit it off with him real good. And, now, Tom McLaughlin claims he never met me, but I thought I met him. But that's beside the point. It was between me and another guy. Finally, Mike Nomad calls me up one day and says, hey, I was rooting for you, but they went with the other guy. And I was brokenhearted. I was sick to my stomach because, remember, this is pre-Chainsaw 3.
Yeah.
And this was going to be my big break, man. I knew it. I remember that morning, I was so torqued up, so excited that I almost puked brushing my teeth because I knew this was a pretty big opportunity, and I didn't get it. And man, I was bummed out. But in the meantime, Jim Winburn calls me back up. He says, "Hey, all right, they do those live action shows over at Universal Studios."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I told them they want to take a look at you. They want to take a look at you for a part of a leader of a paramilitary bounty hunters, and it's a live stage show." So I went in and I got that part, and spent 9 months working in a live action show, A-team live action show at Universal Studios. It was very cool. And in the meantime, I'm plucking along. I'm getting, little parts here and there. I'm a day player, maybe a couple days on a movie or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I've always been a weightlifter. I've always been a motorcycle rider. So fast forward several years, I've already done Chainsaw 3. Things are going okay. I'm training at the world famous Gold's Gym in North Hollywood, California, brother.
Yes.
Hanging and banging, crashing and bashing. There was this other big guy. He was a good weightlifter, and he rode a Harley too. So it was always, hey man, how you doing? Hey man, how you doing? Hey man, saw you lifting. You were looking good, brother. Hey, thanks, brother. Oh yeah. Never introduced ourselves. It was just always, hey, Mike sounding good. Yeah, bro. Thanks. Yeah, yours looking good, bro. Yeah, thanks, bro. So one day we're both in the gym, and I hear somebody go, "Hey, CJ," and it was CJ Graham.
Oh wow.
And I'd known that because I followed when number 6 came out, Friday 13th, number 6. I made sure to find out who stole my part. Right,
the guy who took my job.
Yeah, and not only did he take my job, but the son of a bitch, he's using initials just like me. He's stealing my gimmick. No, but by then, but that was many years ago, and then I kind of I let bygones be bygones once I got the part of Leatherface. Anyway, so so years later, here we are at the gym. I hear somebody say, "Hey, CJ," and it's my big buddy, my biker buddy. I throw my shit down, and I walk over to him and I get right in his face. I go, "Is your name CJ Graham?" And he looks at me and goes, "Yeah, why?" I said, "Because I've hated your guts for 10 years.
That's crazy.
And from that point on, we were buddies.
Leatherface and Jason Voorhees were working out together and didn't even know it.
Yeah. Yep. So,
Robert Englund was in the corner crying, like, "Why can't I hang out with you guys?"
I want to lift some weights.
I don't know about that. I never saw him at the gym.
I don't think anybody has.
No, but I'll tell you what, he's fun to be around when it comes to food, man. He knows his way around. He knows his way around good food.
That's so crazy. That's so funny. You guys are just broing it up, and you're like, "Wait a minute, you're that motherfucker."
Your bike sounds good, but fuck you.
You made me cry like 10 years ago. Dude.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Broke my heart.
That's funny.
No, I didn't cry.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Everyone, I was joking.
You better check yourself.
That's awesome, though. That's crazy.
I was just pissed off.
You went home and punched a hole in the wall.
Oh, I'll bet.
Yeah, with my head.
Yeah.
So, backing up just a little bit, obviously, you know, you started doing the play stuff and the live plays, and you're getting, like, I guess, smaller parts in some movies, and then my favorite RA scene is you towing Corey Haim's car and License to Drive and getting paid your $80.
No, you know, for $80. Hey, you're not going to believe this. I actually said that last night.
Yeah.
My niece's boyfriend, you know, we were having dinner up at my brother's house, and after dinner he goes, "Hey, I had Adrian watch License to Drive," and I went, "For $80."
That's awesome.
It's great.
Yeah, so I was on that show for 2 days. I was only scheduled to be on it for one. But then we were sitting around base camp, and the stunt coordinator, I think if I remember right, his name was Joe Dunn. He heard me say that I needed to work one more day to qualify for my insurance. So he goes, "You need to work." He was an Englishman. He goes, "You need to work one more day to qualify for your insurance. Just hold up a minute. Hey, we're gonna have to bring him in for another day."
Well, that was nice for him. Of him.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah.
But Corey Haim just turned 16 on that movie. He invited me over to the Star Trailer because it was just him and me. We were the only one night we were the only actors, and he invited me over to the Star Trailer, and he was telling me he was all excited. He got his driver's license, and he was getting, I suppose, I don't remember what kind of car he said, because it was, you know, some kind of Japanese car, and I don't. That doesn't mean anything to me, but I suppose it would probably be equivalent to a drifting car or whatever, you know, nowadays. But he was all excited about it and stuff, and you know, good for him. But he was a cool kid, man. He was a cool kid.
That's crazy. Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was super. Yeah, I thought that's like as like just a small scene. It's like super iconic though. It's hilarious. So then after that, how do you get cast as Leatherface? I mean, at this point, Chainsaw 3. I mean, Leatherface has already become a pretty iconic character. So how did that whole thing come about?
Well, okay, let's go back to my earlier days, and I'll draw the direct line for you. In my youth, well, you know, when I wasn't reading Famous Monsters of Filmland, I was looking at those coffee table picture books that used to be real big, you know, Life and Look and all that. You guys probably don't even know what those are, but it was before the internet, and it was they were monthly publications, and they were sort of like big format National Geographic kind of. And I remember reading an article about some guy named Steven Spielberg, or no, George Lucas. I'm sorry, George Lucas, and he had done this movie at University of Southern California Film School called THX 1138, and he hired an actor, Robert Duvall. I don't really know what happened to either of those guys.
No. Yeah.
That's
They're just a bunch of no names.
I think they make B-rated movies nowadays.
Yeah.
Right, but here's the deal. So somehow that stuck in my mind. Because I guess it was probably because they did his background, because that couldn't have been because I was anyway. It just stuck in my mind. USC was a breeding ground for successful directors and actors. So as soon as I got to Southern California, I started doing student films down at USC. I figured if I did enough student films at USC, I would eventually run into a George Lucas or a Steven Spielberg, or
the next big director.
Yeah, and that directly. So I did a student film called Divided We Fall. It was a Civil War picture. It was written and directed by two good. Well, they weren't. They're friends of mine now, but they weren't at the time. Kevin Meyer and Jeff C. Burr. And as you may know, Jeff C. Burr was the director of Chainsaw 3.
Mm-hmm.
So we had remained, from that time on, we had remained friends. From the time we did the student film, we had remained friends. And, Jeff got the, I remember this is before internet and all that stuff, but I read in the LA Sunday Times that Jeff Burr had been hired to direct Chainsaw 3. And, I went, oh boy, so I got a hold of him. It was before cell phones too, and
Paged him.
He ran to a payphone. So
yeah,
I'm gonna call him right now.
And finally, I got word to him, and he called me in. Now, little sidebar. Jeff has a great knowledge and reverence for our business, and he offered the part to Gunner originally.
Yeah.
Well, and that's right and proper, I mean, absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think that, unfortunately for Gunner, but great for me, Gunner had a set of what most by industry standards were a very modest set of requirements as far as money and perks. And New Line wouldn't budge, so they left the part vacant, and I was literally the next logical choice among. I wasn't there. Everybody was at the 4th of July party at Kevin Meyer's house. I had been at a 3rd of July party and was unable to make the trip out to Kevin Meyer's. They were all standing around the bar, and as film geeks, and I say that with all due respect and love, because I am one myself. As film geeks do, when they gather, they talk about everybody's projects, and that was the week that they announced Jeff getting the job. So I guess he told the tale about Gunner, and the next question was, well, who are you going to hire? And it was like almost like a unanimous vote that I was the next logical choice.
That's crazy. What did he call you like the next day when you were able to answer the phone again? Like how did that conversation go? Like did you freak out or like?
I don't remember. All I remember is I don't know if I spoke to him or left him a message or what, but I had my agent at the time, who was not a very good. Well, she was a commercial agent, and I found out many years later, commercials and theatrical films are like two completely different animals. And people that are very good in commercial agents maybe are very, maybe very good in commercials, but they don't have the connections in film, and that was the situation. But she got me, she did make some calls, and she got me in. And I don't even know if I talked to Jeff prior, but I went into the interview. It was in a very small little office, and it was Jeff, the casting director, I think it was Karen Ray, and the line producer, Bob Engelman. It was just the four of us. And we just chatted, and, it's impossible. There's no way you can simulate your action on the set, So it was basically just a little chat, and at the end of our little chat, Bob Engelman said, "Jeff, is this who you want for the part?" And Jeff said, "Yep." He said, "All right." And they sent me out the door, and I didn't know if that was official or what, so I kind of I sat down and pretended like I was tying my shoes, even though I was wearing cowboy boots. And I was stalling to hope that Jeff might pop out and I'd get a chance to talk to him. And he did pop out, and he gives me a big smile and a thumbs up as he walks. I guess probably going to the bathroom or something. I don't know. And so I left, and then but then I got I got the official word through the agent that I got the part.
That's so awesome. So
yeah.
So with something like that, with such a already a big character, I'm sure you knew it was already pretty iconic. You were a fan of Chainsaw Massacre and Leatherface. Did you know, like, that it would still be like such a huge thing, like in general, and then especially for you? We're now celebrating the 30 years of Leatherface and Chainsaw 3. It's the 30-year anniversary of Chainsaw 3, and still doing conventions and appearances just for that one role. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, did you have any idea what you were about to embark on at that moment?
That is a two-part question. The ancillary stuff, the 30th anniversary, the personal appearances. I had no idea that world even existed. Okay, I didn't even know. It took me 4 or 5 years before I even was contacted to make a personal appearance. So I didn't know anything about that world. But yes, as a fan, I knew that it was. I knew it was going to be a big movie. The budget for that kind of movie was fairly large. And
I think it was like $2 million or something.
And also, I had signed a contract option to do 3, 4, and 5.
Oh wow!
I had to wear my sunglasses all the time because I thought my future was so bright.
Yeah.
And man, I was ready. I was going to, I knew it was a big deal. I was ready, I wanted to be the first one in history to do the role twice. I thought that would help cement my position. You can never take anything away from the prior guys. Gunner's the original, and that can never be disputed. Bill Johnson's number 2. That can never be disputed. But I thought coming in at number 3, if I was the first one to do it twice, that would really cement me, right up there. But as we know, New Line did not do the company that I worked for did not do 4 and 5. So
bastards.
Right.
Yeah. So
has there ever been a time where someone approached you to reprise it, or like even like do a cameo or something in one of the newer ones or anything like that?
Well, when they filmed Next Generation, I was the reigning Leatherface, and I believe there might have been some inquiries about me doing the role again. Nothing official, nothing direct, but through the grapevine. But they made it. They shot it non-union in Texas, and I will not work non-union. So
yeah, that's crazy.
I couldn't participate. Also, I'd heard he has to wear a dress and high heels and shit like that.
Yeah, some of the visions of him have gotten a little weird.
I mean, I get it. It's written by Kim Henkel, the Next Generation, and I get it. That is a direct callback to Ed Gein, you know, wearing women's clothes. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But the high heels and the fishnet stockings and stuff like that, that was excessive. You know?
It was a bit much. It was a bit much.
Yeah.
I think he was wearing lipstick too in that.
Yeah. I don't know. A formal offer was never made, but I let it be known through the grapevine that I wasn't interested in participating.
Yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, it's definitely an iconic movie, an iconic role, and
yep. And then when the 2003 remake, came, they didn't even call me in to see if I was still breathing. Boom, zoom, gone.
Madness.
You know? And so I was pretty much out of the chainsaw business until 2013. What are they going to do? Chainsaw 3D, and they're going to jump 30 years ahead. Okay. Well, in 2013, I can't remember exactly how old I would have been, but I would have been the perfect age to reprise the role. Let's assume that Leatherface, in the original 1974, Leatherface is 18 to 25, maybe even 30. Add 30 years to that, makes him, late 50s, early 60s. I was the absolute perfect age to reprise the role. And I lacked any representation. I had no agent or anything at the time. And by the time I did get somebody to make a call on my behalf, it had already been cast.
Damn.
Damn.
That would have been pretty epic.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, with Dan Yeager, who I call the new kid.
Damn new kid.
So that was my last. That was probably my last viable shot at doing the character again.
Yeah. That stinks. I wanted to give a quick shout out to a movie you did right after Leatherface that I just discovered by doing research for this interview, and it's freaking amazing. It's called Adventures in Dinosaur City, and all of our logos are done. I watched it today on YouTube. It's free on YouTube.
Mr. Big.
Yes, it's all of our stuff's dinosaurs, and I was like, oh my god, this is great.
Well, the guy that did the animatronic heads also did them for the TV series Dinosaurs.
I see. When I watched that movie, I was like, I feel like this is what led to that TV show, which is incredible. I love the TV show.
Yeah,
Not the mama.
It was John Criswell company that did the animatronic heads. I had a lot of fun doing that. Well, let me just tell you straight up, I have a lot of fun working. So I have a lot of fun anytime I'm on a set, and I didn't mind. It was a payday, and I got to hang out with cool people. So yeah, I mean.
No, it looked like fun. It was great. I literally watched it today, and it's like a cheesy kids movie with dinosaur people, and they go to this other realm, and it's great.
Well, at the time, I was hanging out with Jay Bernstein. Do you know who he is?
It sounds familiar, but not off the top of my head.
He was a mega manager. He's the guy that got Farrah Fawcett to do that poster in the bathing suit.
Oh wow.
He repped a lot of people, and I was in his circle at the time, and we did a TV show, one of the nighttime TV shows, and he goes, I want to introduce you to my bodyguard. And he's in a new movie called Dinosaur City, and it's going to be the next big franchise, like Mutant Ninja Turtles. And obviously, that didn't happen either.
No, but it's great. Everyone should check it out. I was going to buy it, and I saw it was free on YouTube. But everyone should buy it and support. But I'm just saying, I watched it.
Well, watch it on YouTube. I don't give a shit. I'd probably, for my participation in that movie, because of my billing and days worked and hours, and all that stuff, I'd probably make about 30 cents per video sale.
Hey. But yeah, no, it's it's great. But yeah, I definitely had to mention that. But another a big iconic thing you did, especially in the horror world, is you and our mutual friend, Mr. Kane Hodder. You were in Hatchet 2, and you guys had like the craziest battle, and you got beheaded, and all kinds of freshness happened there. You were like, weren't you like the first guy to officially like fight Victor or something like?
That is a correct statement on your behalf.
Yes.
They wrote that part especially for me, Adam Green, with strong suggestion by Kane. Adam Green wrote that part especially for me. How close was the character to me? Well, let me put it to you this way. When we were doing wardrobe, the wardrobe girl called me up, and she said, "Well, what do you wear? What do you want to wear? And how do you see the character?" I said, "Well," I'd like to wear bib overalls." And she goes, "Oh, you can't do that because that's what Victor Crowley wears." And I said, "Well, how about jeans and a work shirt and boots?" Yep, perfect. So for some reason, I don't remember why, she came over to my house, and with all the wardrobe stuff, and we never discussed brands or anything like that. But for the movie, she brought me the exact same brand of boots I wear every single stinking day. And let me put it this way: if I would have had 3 shirts identical, I could have costumed myself out of my own closet. Okay,
that's perfect.
My kind of like my affectation, my trademark is I always wear sunglasses, even at the most inappropriate times. So we went to the table read, and all the department heads were there and stuff like that. I had on a pair of silver sunglasses, and I get on the set. The prop mistress comes up to me, and what does she hand me? A pair of silver sunglasses.
That's
yeah, it was, and it was so much. Oh man, I'll tell you what. Like I said, I love working, and I have so much fun when I'm on a movie set. But come on, me and Kane and Rick McCollum, who else? Daniel Harris, Tony Todd, Mr. Tom Holland. That's what I call him because I think he's cool. On Carl Bickler, may he rest in peace as well. Who else was on that show? Oh, the big scene in Reverend Zombie's shop where he's recruiting the hunters.
Oh yeah.
That was an actor's wet dream. There were about at least a half a dozen writer, director, producers being extras in that movie.
That's crazy. Yeah, it was like a family affair.
Mm-hmm. It was. Yeah, I'm trying right off the top of my head, in the audience was Mike Mendez, Dave Parker. I think Ryan Schifrin might have been there. Steve Uncle Creepy Barton was there.
I'm trying to look at
Trauma.
Yeah,
Trauma headman.
Lloyd Kaufman, Uncle Lloydie.
Lloyd Kaufman. Yep, Lloyd Kaufman was there. It was a pretty cool day. So
There's a ton of people. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
yeah. But we had a lot of fun. And then we went to New Orleans and had a blast, and that was a lot of fun.
That's super cool. So you and Kane and Rick you guys are all like really good friends, and you guys do the Hollywood ghost hunter stuff as well, right?
That is another correct statement on your behalf.
How did all that come about? We talked to Kane I guess it was like a year ago or so, and we talked about it briefly. But
I will tell you my perspective. You tell me if it matches what Kane said. We were doing a movie. We were doing a movie at the Shawshank Redemption prison, and I'd already been off the movie, but according to Rick, he asked Kane, or Kane asked Rick, during some downtime, hey, let's go, let's ghost hunt this place. It's supposed to be haunted. And Kane was, yeah, let's go, man. And according to Rick. So Rick says, I've been ghost hunting with a lot of people. I can never find anybody that will stay with me. And everybody chickens out and runs away. And we were, Kane and Rick were, deep in the bowels of the prison, and we saw something. I turned over, I looked over at Kane to say something to Kane, and Kane was gone. And Rick said, oh, damn it, I lost another ghost hunting partner. And he goes, but then I looked back, and Kane was running toward the entity. So that was the beginning of Hollywood Ghost Hunters. I will take credit for this. I came up with the original concept of that movie, Fallen Angels. Me and a friend of mine from Ohio named Myron St. John, we came up with the original concept, but somebody, the movie that's on the screen is not our original concept. But anyway, well, here's the deal. Kane and Rick are stuntmen, right? Mm-hmm. So they must have looked in the mirror and decided they needed a pretty face to, join the group. And that's why they invited me.
I'm pretty sure that's what he said too.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
pretty sure that's what he told us.
I'm the eye candy of the group.
They're like, we're just a bunch of stuntmen. We need to. Yeah, that's exactly what he said. We need someone more attractive.
Yep.
We're gonna have Hollywood in our name. We need a Hollywood person.
We need a handsome We need a handsome actor.
Exactly. Who better than Leatherface?
So anyway, so that's how the group got started.
That's awesome.
And so, because I was in that group with those guys, we did a big ghost hunt up at the Omen House. That's the one that's supposed to have Sharon Tate and all those people floating around. And Adam Green came up with us, and it was, and that night is when Kane pitched to me. As we were walking up the steps, Kane said, "Hey, Adam, we need to get RA and hatch you too." And it happened.
That's crazy. So, and I know you guys did you guys had an appearance on, was it the Ghost Hunters?
It was Ghost Adventures.
Ghost Adventures.
Yeah.
And I know even Kane had talked about how you guys were. There's a possibility, hopefully someday, maybe at some point, of like making your guys' thing a show. Is there been any efforts towards that, or any?
There's a lot of mystery. There's a lot of question marks and mysteries in my life that I can't figure out what went wrong. But that to me is one of the biggest ones. Why we do not have our own show, I have no stinking idea. It seems to me like it would be a no-brainer, an automatic, green light, but it hasn't happened yet.
Terrible.
Are you guys still actively hunting together?
Well,
I mean, minus COVID stuff, but
Yeah, we all travel so much separately, and I'm based here in PA now, and it's very difficult for us to get together, especially when we're self-financing everything,
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't done it in a long time, quite a while. I'm ready to get in that trench, man, and I'm ready to, start working on a series. Anytime any production company wants to grab it and run with it, I'm there.
Listen up, people. As soon as this COVID shit goes away, we got the new Ghostbusters ready to take on all them COVID ghosts.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and Hollywood Ghost Hunters, our motto, right?
No. What is that?
Well, I will tell you. Hollywood Ghost Hunters. If you run, you're done.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's a good motto.
That's great.
And so
sounds like a movie I want to watch.
Yeah.
Expanding on that motto, I have taken to calling myself the Pitbull of the paranormal.
I see that. That's awesome. There should be a movie.
Yeah,
There should just be a movie based on you guys now at this point.
Just 3 horror icons just angrily yelling at and chasing down ghosts to beat their ass.
Only that, but the ghosts are like badass sons of bitches, like the ghosts in 13 Ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe even like more.
There we
like
go.
We have to fight them with axes and clubs and spears and stuff like that. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. That would be awesome.
Oh, absolutely. This is fantastic.
It would be. I'll tell you a little anecdote.
That would be a great spin-off from 13 Ghosts. Just like, oh shit, this house is fucked up. We have to call these
I
guys
feel
to
like it would
come
be
in and
like a
beat the shit
horror
out of these
comedy,
ghosts.
though,
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah.
Or it would have like chains. Kane would just have like a machete
Yeah.
because that's what Kane
two
does.
machetes. If you look at our intro on that episode of Ghost Adventures, we're walking down an alley. Rick's got a mace.
Perfect.
Kane's got 2 machetes, and I've got a spike-studded club.
Yes.
I actually recently just watched that episode, and it was hilarious because they did the intro shots of you walking down the alley and all that stuff, and then the next scene, it was they put Zach and the crew in front of you, and it went from 3 big badass dudes to Zach with his little short ass just cheesing, and you guys just looking badass and mean, and he's just like.
He's a good guy, man. I gotta tell you, he treated us like family, and I like him a lot.
Well, that's good to hear because I'm a big fan of that show, and I know my fiance she loves that show. So,
well, let me tell you this. A couple of years after we did that episode, Rick and I were down at an event at the Queen Mary, and Zach was there. He invited 13 of us out for dinner and picked up the tab for all of us.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah. So
is he an eccentric person off the camera? Because I feel like he's a little off. And the older he gets, he just seems like that type of guy. He's just kind of, he seems nice, but he seems, it's like that guy. Yeah, he's weird.
Well, I can't speak to that because the truth of the matter is, I didn't spend a whole lot of up close and personal time with him when we shot the episode, and at the paranormal event, it's very difficult to engage in any kind of meaningful.
Right.
When people are buzzing around. I thought the coolest thing was when they made the parallel between Kane and Zach, Rick and Nick, and me and Aaron.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
That's awesome. Hopefully, man. Hopefully someone will pick. Hopefully you guys get back together and start doing stuff and somebody picks that up.
I'm ready.
That would be
I'm ready.
That would definitely.
When you guys were investigating before, were you recording it, or was it just you guys going on investigations?
That's a damn good question, and I can't answer that. No, I don't. You mean on our own as Hollywood Ghost Hunters?
Yeah.
No, I don't think we had a camera crew. I don't know if anybody, was recording on the cell phone. I know I know we didn't have a camera crew.
Yeah.
One time we went back to the Omen. Chris Moon, the editor of, I can't remember the name, Haunted America or a big paranormal magazine.
Mm-hmm.
He got a hold of Rick and said, "Man, I want to come out and go to the Omen House with you guys." So we went to the Omen House. And he wrote a very good article about the evening, but I don't think there was anything on film per se.
Ah, okay. Because I know that you said it's difficult now because you guys travel so much and all this stuff. But if you guys were to get together, here and there, I mean, you guys could start your own YouTube and start filming episodes for YouTube.
Hell yeah.
Well, I hadn't thought about that. I'm of that generation. I don't even barely know what YouTube is.
Just find some young kid who's a fan of Leatherface. He'll probably come out and do it for free.
Yeah.
And then if it starts making money, throw him a couple bucks, and then you'll be good to go.
Yep.
I'll take that under advisement, fellas.
I mean, that could really happen.
Yeah, it could.
Grape Joe in our chat room wanted to know if you were able to keep a chainsaw.
Who wanted to know that?
Grape Joe.
One of our listeners.
Oh, one of your listeners?
Yeah, he's in the chat.
The answer is no. And why? Because I thought, go back to the earlier part of the conversation, I thought the saw would go in a warehouse, and a year or two later, would come back out for, Texas Chainsaw Massacre number 4. So I didn't even think of getting the saw. And quite frankly, had no idea what happened to it until several years later when I was at a Fangoria show in Burbank. And this guy came up to me and he said, I was a PA, a production assistant on Chainsaw 3, and he had worked his way up through the system, and he is a kind of a big deal producer now. He goes, I've got the chainsaw. And I said, how did you get it? He goes, I walked in the office one day, saw it sitting in the corner, asked them what they were going to do with it. They said nothing. He said, can I have it? Yeah, take it.
Holy
basically.
shit.
That's fucking
and
cool.
So he had it for several years, and then fast forward 2 or 3 years after that conversation, I'm booked to do an appearance at a haunted attraction in South Carolina, and the promoter, calls me up and says, "Hey, a friend of mine owns the original chainsaw. Would you be willing to meet him and take pictures with him?" I said, "Sure, fine." And so the guy brought it, and as far as I can tell, it's his story of how he of acquisition and the chain of title and all that stuff pretty much jived with everything I know, and so he got it, and I won't say how much he paid for it, but it was more than I would have, I'll tell you that.
I'll bet. That's
Now,
crazy.
where did the one come from? Because I had met you at Astronomicon a couple years ago, and you had the chainsaw there, with the one with the insignia on the blade and all that stuff. Let
me think about that. I think, that was the original. That was the real one.
Okay, so were you borrowing it or?
Yeah. Because the guy that owns it was there. He had a booth there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it was a separate booth.
Yeah, it was a separate booth. Yeah, because I remember that I saw that, and it was it was on my bucket list.
The guy's trying to get his money back.
I've always wanted to have that saw, but it was on my bucket list, and I saw it, and I was so excited that they let me pick it up and hold it, and I was like, this is the fucking coolest thing ever. This is because I love Leatherface, is my favorite horror movie character, and so to be able to hold the most iconic saw in that entire series it just blew my mind. I was geeking out. I was like, I was sitting there looking at it, talking to the guy, and he goes, "You want to pick it up?" I go, "You fucking kidding me? You goddamn right I do." Hell yeah! Just threw everything on the ground. I was like, let me pick this bastard up. This thing is heavy.
Yeah, and the reason he was there was because we were doing a costume photo op. So
yeah,
it's all his family.
Yeah, and that guy, Jason Guy is his name. He also owns Nubbins from, I guess from the original, I think, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the little dude or whatever, the dead thing,
the dead grandpa or whatever.
Yeah, I know. I know, I recognize it, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just like a decayed body guy.
Yeah,
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. He's a big fan.
He's a big time collector, that's for sure.
So I got a couple more questions for you, and we'll let you get back to your day, man. Brute Bronson,
nighttime.
the Iron City Savage.
Brute Bronson, the Iron City Savage, 300 pounds of coiled steel and sex appeal. I don't think you know who you're talking to, brother. Let me tell you right now. Men fear me, women love me, children adore me. I will have the championship belt.
That's all I needed. That's all I needed.
And yes, what do you want to know about Brute Bronson?
Obviously he's an amazing, iconic character now. But could we ever see a return of the Savage?
Well, you know what? Are you boys sitting down?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Several years ago, I came up with an idea for a movie about a beat-up, broke-down, former, wrestling superstar who is now eking out a living, doing the independent circuit and kind of fading into obscurity. Does that sound like a
Mickey Rourke
plot?
Sound a little familiar.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me tell you this. My story was put together before that movie was ever written, so I got with a writer. We wrote it. I still have thoughts about doing it as a stage play, but we wrote a script. Or I should say, the writer took my idea and wrote a script. It was pretty damn good. I wanted it to be like Sid and Nancy of wrestling, with him dying dying in a cheap hotel at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day at another Fangoria convention, this one was in Pasadena. I started talking to my friend Darren Scott of Tales from the Hood fame.
Great movie.
I said, Darren, me and Chris have this project, and would you be interested in producing it? And he said, well, let me take a look at it. And he said, I will produce it if you make it a comedy. He says, I can see this thing being the Spinal Tap of professional wrestling. So we rewrote it and made it a comedy, and we just never got any traction on it. Never was able to get it financed. And then, out came the wrestler and kind of killed that project in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
but now because now even though ours was written way before, everybody would say ours was a knockoff of the wrestler. So
yeah,
but
something's
you
probably
can
going to
make
happen with that.
you can make a movie about the same thing, and it could be totally different.
You want to hear how this whole idea came about?
Huh?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, let me tell you how Brute Bronson was born. I was at a wrestling show put on by my friend Rick Grayson, the Equalizer, who just passed away recently. Rest in peace, Rick. I wasn't working. Tyler Main was there. He wasn't working. Fred Olin Ray was working the match. Fred Olin Ray, the director. He was actually working the match. He got hurt, and Tyler Main, who used to be Kevin Nash's tag team partner in the old days, he filled in the rest of the show for Fred Olin Ray.
Nice.
So I wasn't working. Had nothing to do with the show. But the safety rail was just ropes on stanchions.
Mm-hmm.
They got knocked over. I don't remember how they got knocked over or what. But I said, well, shit, Rick's my friend, I'm going to help him out. So I went down, I climbed out of the bleachers and went down and started setting up the stanchions. I turned around, and I'm mobbed by kids. Hey, are you going to fight tonight? Hey, I saw you on TV. Hey, can you sign this? And that exact moment is when Brute Bronson was born. I'd always thought about the idea of Brute I used to see when I trained at a YMCA in Glendale, California. There used to be on the bulletin board. There was a little article, Jack London, and the character was a fighter, and they called him the Abysmal Brute. And I always liked that name, so I always kept Brute in the back of my mind. And then all of a sudden, I'm besieged by these little kids. And I said, oh, Brute Bronson. And then, just like that. So that's how he got born. And then, I may have had my hair bleached blonde by then. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, I decided to craft my persona as a low rent Hulk Hogan, and it actually worked. I used to get I used to get my gas at the same gas station once a week, stop and fill up and stuff like that. And one day the kid in the gas station comes out. Now I know for a fact, I remember for a fact, my hair was really long and bleach blonde, my beard was bleach blonde. Kid comes out and says, "Hey, mister, can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah, kid, what do you want to know?" He goes, "Did you have your face surgically altered to look like Hulk Hogan?"
Hulk Hogan?
I said, "No."
Yes.
but I think the reason I picked Bronson was because Hulk Hogan, Brute Bronson.
Right.
Perfect.
You gotta keep theme.
It's the B version.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I met him. There is still. I used to go to it all the time every year. There is a big motorcycle run at Harley Davidson in Glendale called the Love Ride. I always used to go to it. I met Hulk there one day, and I walked up to him and I said, "Hey man, I got to tell you, I think you're the best thing that ever happened to professional wrestling." And he goes, "Thanks, brother." As I was walking, he goes, "Hey brother, I need you on my tag team." Well, I was waiting for him to call me.
Damn.
But I found out that's what he tells everybody.
It's a step.
But later that day, I ended up hanging out with Bruce's Barber Beefcake. Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Mm-hmm.
But you've probably never seen this Iron Sheik. He cut a promo. It was hilarious. Gene Okerlund, who I've actually had dinner with, is the greatest guy in the world. Gene Okerlund's doing the interview. Sheik, you're facing Brutus the Barber Beefcake in Anaheim Stadium next Saturday. Gene Lin, let me tell you, Brutus Barber Beefcake, I'm going to destroy him. There will be 1,000 Iranian peoples.
Iron Sheik's funny, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got to hang out with Bruce's Beefcake Barber and hear the whole story about how he got his face mangled.
Did he cut your hair?
Huh?
Did he cut your hair?
No. No. He wasn't working his gimmick that day. He was just...
He left his clippers at home.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. It was fun, but so yeah. As far as Bruce's Bronson, I don't know if we'll ever hear anything more from him.
Well, we'll keep the hope alive.
All right, I appreciate that.
We will. 100%. We'll keep the hope alive, man. Somebody will pick up The Wrestler Part 2 or something. It'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm down.
I don't know.
Well, we learned about a ton of iconic movies. Everybody needs to go check out Dinosaur City. Obviously, Leatherface, Hatchet 2, all the other dope stuff.
The Adventures in Dinosaur City, if you're Googling it.
That's right, Adventures in Dinosaur City. Tons of other great movies out there. And then you got some stuff coming up. Obviously, there's probably not a ton of stuff with the COVID and stuff going on, but I know there was a couple. One that you were promoting for a while was the Ride Hard. Did it come out this year? Or it's coming out this year?
Damn it! I hope it's coming out this year.
Supposed to come out this year. I know. I remember you were like excited about it a couple years ago, talking about it.
Yeah. Don't say that out too loud, because That's not good when a movie doesn't come out within a year. But I just posted a picture from that this morning on the Facebook. Yes, the producer, the executive producer, he and I have become very good friends, and you know, he was in the middle of producing another one the last time I talked to him, and I hope it comes out. I hope it comes out. I hope it's successful, so we can reassemble and make a sequel or a prequel. I don't care, as long as I'm in it. It was a lot of fun, man. For me personally, it checked off so many boxes in the plus column. Let's see. I got to go ride motorcycles in the desert. Check. I got to hang out with a motorcycle club, a real motorcycle club. Check. I got to shoot guns. Check. I got to terrorize teenage girls and not go to jail. Check.
Yes.
And so yeah.
Sounds good.
I'm anxious to see it out there and find out what people think of it.
Yeah, so hopefully, everybody look forward to that. Hopefully coming this year. I know a lot of things. I mean, good or bad, regardless of what, what's going on with the movie right now. A lot of things are on hold because of COVID. So it could.
Oh
be,
man,
even if it's not the reason, it's a good excuse.
I had three movies on book this year, and they all, have been postponed.
Yeah. Was it? We have the Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
And then Jasper. That's another one as well?
Yep. Four Horsemen. We were going to shoot in. I can't remember if it was Spain or Portugal. It don't matter. I'll go over there and drink one. And chase gypsy girls. I may never come back though. But yeah, we're supposed to shoot that in. Like I said, either Spain or Portugal. I can't remember. Jasper was going to shoot here in the East Coast, actually, which would have been cool. What else is on there?
Four Horsemen, and those are the only ones I have. Is Four Horsemen and Jasper, the only ones I knew about. Is there anything that we may not know about that people can look forward to?
No, no. That's what's so. That is what is so. Well, I hate to use the word depressing. It's so disgusting about the China virus 19. Everything came to a grinding halt.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hopefully we're revving back up again. But yeah, when things start moving again, man, you're now you're officially part of the Replicon family. So you got some stuff going on.
Oh, that's why. Replicon. I thought it was a Republican. That's the whole reason I was going to do this show. No, I'm just making. That was a joke. That was a joke.
Yeah, man. Whatever. Yeah.
No, I'm glad. I'm very glad that you guys invited me on the show. I feel we had a very nice conversation.
Absolutely.
And,
I got one more for you before we let you go.
Lay it out.
So essentially, we asked all of our guests the same thing. We do a lot of musical guests and stuff like that. I'm going to make yours a two-parter since you're an actor. So essentially, you got 3 records that you just could not live without. Maybe something that inspires you as an actor or in your career, or that one record you go listen to when you're sad or when you're happy or whatever it may be. 3 records that you just could not live without, and then I'm going to double it for you and also say 3 films.
Okay.
As well.
First album comes to mind is Johnny Cash. I can't remember the title, but it's the one that has Folsom Prison and Ira Hayes and all that stuff. It's classic Johnny Cash. Love that album.
Awesome.
I might have to stick completely to country. David Allan Coe. You don't have to call me darling.
There you go. I feel like you listen to his dirty albums or whatever.
What? I didn't even know about those, but here, if you got a minute, let me tell you this. Several years ago, I got invited to be a celebrity guest at a toy run in Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the musical guests was David Allan Coe.
Hey.
And I said, "Oh, I'm a celebrity guest. I get backstage passes and all that." Yeah. I get to meet David Allen Coe. Yeah. Well, the whole event went, and I remember seeing this crazy looking biker with sitting on a golf cart, right? And I think we made eye contact, even though we both had sunglasses on. I stared at him, and he stared at me. But I was riding a bike, and he was sitting on a golf cart. And said, "That's a crazy looking biker, man." He's, And then I was backstage, and that crazy looking biker in the golf cart went whizzing right by where I was sitting. I said, "That's a crazy looking biker, man." So I went up to the ticket office. I said, "So hey, man, when do I get to meet David Allen Coe?" He already left. He's packed up and gone. And that crazy looking biker in the golf cart was David Allen Coe.
It's crazy.
I missed him. So Johnny Cash, David Allen Coe. Music wise, oh boy, I don't know. I can't say a specific album, but I will pick another genre of blues. I love blues, so that's going to have to suffice for the music. Movies, you're not going to believe this. The Searchers, John Ford epic. John Ford directed epic starring John Wayne. I watched that movie every time it's on. Fiddler on the Roof. Love that movie.
Hey.
And actually, that was when I was pulled out of retirement by Bonnie, the community theater director. That is the first play that I did as an adult. So maybe that has something to do with it. And the third movie, it's not strictly a movie, but it's a mini-series. Mick Garris's The Stand.
Is that the Stephen King made-for-TV movie thing?
Yeah.
That was good. That was awesome. Hell yeah.
I love that. To me, it's a movie. I don't care. I watch all my movies on TV anyway, so... but yeah, I watched Stand. I think that was just an excellent movie.
That's awesome.
So,
absolutely. That's perfect.
Yeah. Now, let me tell you about a couple of lamented Game of Thrones, man. I was totally... I would have been happy to see that go on for many more seasons.
Oh, I love that show.
Yep.
Thankfully, I came late onto it, so I was able to binge a lot of the seasons because I came in right when they were airing the last season, so I was able to watch a lot of it real quick, and that was a phenomenal show.
Yep. That's one. I hate to say it. They may pull my patch in the biker world, but I actually like Sons of Anarchy.
I love that show.
Yeah, I love that show too.
I absolutely loved it.
Oh, fuck Gemma, man. She was a bitch. I liked her in the beginning, but goddamn, I hated her at the end.
Yeah. You want to hear my Sons of Anarchy story?
Sure.
Yes. Okay,
so I run into a friend of mine at the supermarket. My friend got the breakdowns. That's, whenever they're casting something out on the teletype or the whatever emails or whatever, they send out breakdowns, and it's a list of all the projects that are being put together and casting notices and everything. And my friend says, "Hey, all right, they're getting ready to do this biker series called Sons of Anarchy. You got to get your people on it." So I called up my manager at the time, and I won't say his name, but I said, "Hey, it's got a hot tip for doing this biker series called Sons of Anarchy. Can you get me in on it?" He goes, "Well, let me look on the breakdowns." And at that particular moment in time, the only thing listed on the breakdowns was for a convenience. "Hello, my friend, can I get you a Slurpee?" He said, he says, "All right, I don't really see anything except that." And I said, "Well, keep an eye on it, I assumed that he would do his due diligence and perhaps pick up a phone and pitch me. You know.
I mean, you would think that. I mean, that would make sense. That's.
I gotta tell you, I'm not saying I would have got cast in the series, but I sure as shit should have been in the room when they were casting it. That's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that doesn't make any sense. What good is he then? Like.
Well, so this, the show premiered. I watched the premiere episode. The next day, I fired him.
Ooh. Hey, I don't blame you. I mean, that was well deserved.
Yep. So. And I never got in on it. And
yeah, I think you would have fit a pretty good part in that too.
Would have been great.
Yeah.
I'm not bragging. I'm just telling the truth, man. I would have been great in that.
I'm just
show.
spitting facts.
Anyway, any last requests?
Yeah, we do have one more question, or we do have another question in our chat room. It's asked if you were disappointed with the theatrical cut of Leatherface. They heard that there was a bunch of changes.
Yeah, personally, artistically, I was not disappointed by the cuts. I was disappointed by the reception of the film.
Yeah.
We opened up the first week of January, which is the graveyard for movie release. Our original release date was November 3rd, 1989. I am positive if we had opened the movie on its original release date, 3 days after Halloween, I'm sure we would have been in the top 10 and most likely the top 5. So that was the disappointment for me. So.
Yeah, I could see that being a disappointment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if it would have opened bigger, then New Line would have been, encouraged to do 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Was it just delays in production that pushed the release date back?
It was because of the MPAA and all their excessive demands. Jeff would edit the film. He'd submit it to them. They'd come back with more bullshit editing, and went back and forth like that. It was such a contentious and nitpicking process that they wouldn't sign off on the film before in time for us to have our original release date, and New Line wouldn't release it unrated because they wanted to have a wide release, and NC-17, or at that time it would have been an X rating. And by the way, a little bit of trivia: if you believe Wikipedia, Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 is the last movie to get the official X rating before they changed it to NC-17.
Huh.
So
little piece of
you've been talking to an X-rated movie star
Ooh.
this whole time.
We knew that, though.
Girl, any girl listeners, did you hear that?
I mean, he is the eye candy of Hollywood ghost hunters, so I'm just saying.
That's why.
And he's X-rated. He's ready to do it all, baby.
Yeah, I don't think if they were to submit all the old footage nowadays, it would probably go through with no problem.
Yeah, absolutely, without question.
They show boobs in PG-13 movies now.
Right.
Somebody in the ratings board probably had a hard on for somebody or something. I don't know.
That could be it. I'm sure there's
No
a
way
lot of
to
that.
No way to explain it. Just an unfortunate set of circumstances.
I'm surprised they didn't want to just push it back to the next fall season if they had to wait anyways. And then, timing is everything when it comes to a specific type of movie like that. Like, you would think that they'd just be like, well, fuck it, we're just going to wait, until the next fall season and then drop it then.
Well, I don't think that wasn't going to fit their strategy, and I'm going to tell you what I found out several years later. There were a couple of very highly placed women in the New Line organization that wanted New Line to get out of the horror business. So they they probably pushed. Let's just dump it and move on.
They had to make
do
room
art.
for the Adventures of Dinosaur City coming soon.
Yeah.
So let's dump Chainsaw and move on to rom-coms and
Right.
whatever. So
Whatever bullshit they're doing now.
Bastards.
yeah, but hey, that's what it is. That's what it is.
That's showbiz, baby.
You can be bent, but just don't break. Roll with the punches. What's some other platitudes? And when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And above all, and most importantly, fuck the world. Don't give a fuck.
That's right.
I'm above ground. I anticipate, working again sometime in the future. So all is good.
For sure.
Don't take my last statement as a bitter statement, because I'm not bitter a bit. I'm a very happy fellow.
That's good to hear, man. And we look forward
Yes,
to seeing more stuff from you in the future. Like I said before, man, officially welcome you to the Replicon Radio family. When new things are starting to come out, you got new projects you want to promote, let us know. You're always welcome here. We'll get the word out the best we can to all of our listeners. I know you're not a big social media guy or anything, but is there anywhere people can go to try to stay in contact or know about projects or anything coming out?
I don't post shit on Facebook, but I read it all the time.
So yeah, just let us know, and we'll do our best to let the people know.
All right, appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got a Twitter account, but I couldn't figure out how to log on to it. If somebody was sitting here with a gun at my head and told me I have to get on my Twitter account to not get shot, well, call the Undertaker. Call the Undertaker. I'm a goner.
That sucks. Well,
But,
that's all right.
Well, fellas, I appreciate you taking an interest in having me on the show. Freaky P, Big Roo, Dead Body Man. It's been a real pleasure talking to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Same here. Thanks for coming on tonight and sharing your story.
Absolutely, man.
You bet.
We appreciate it.
Faux show.
You
Yeah.
bet.
Very interesting.
Definitely keep in touch, and hopefully we'll talk again, and we'll have tons of stuff to talk about in the future once the world resumes.
I'm looking. Who knows? You never know when I'll show up in the STL.
Yeah,
That is true.
hit us up, man. If you're in town, we'll I don't know. We'll hang out. We'll have a beer.
In the famous words of my old bro Pitbull, good deal.
Perfect, man. All right, man. Well, yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully we'll keep in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you, fellas.
Absolutely.
Been a real pleasure.
Thank you. Everybody else is tuned in. We will be back. We still got tons of show left. If you're on the YouTube feed, it is going to stop because music doesn't play on YouTube. If you guys want to check out the audio break, what you do, just head on over to repliconradio.com, and we will be back to hang out with you guys some more.